under their new head coach, Vic Schaefer, but this will be probably their biggest test so far, a top 25 opponent.
Well, when you say a new look, this is an old look that we're used to seeing in the SEC because Vic Schaefer has put his stamp that he had at Mississippi State. He's brought it to Austin, Texas.
Aggies take over offensively first year at Johnson. Number 40 in that maroon jersey is also a threat down low for A&M. This is Aaliyah Wilson, the transfer from Arkansas, misses the shot, and Joanne Allen-Taylor comes out with it. Starting five for Texas, we told you about Charlie Collier, but Joanne Allen-Taylor, and they've also used Celeste Taylor to handle the ball and run this offense.
Well, and Vic Schaefer really likes Allen-Taylor and Celeste Taylor on the perimeter because of their defense as well. You know, the first thing Vic Schaefer is going to recognize is their defensive presence.
Oh, and shocking, India Jones gets a rebound.
Just watch, that's going to be one of many today.
India Jones and Sierra Johnson, big time down low under the basket for A&M.
Well, and look at this. What Vic Schaefer did, he started the freshman. D. Gaston got the nod. He was a little nervous about it in practice yesterday because this is such a big game, but she has such a presence inside. She's a natural athlete, and she can go to the glass and rebound.
Yeah, Deanna Gaston, number 23 in white for Texas. They swing it over to Celeste Taylor for the long ball. Rebound into the hands of Aaliyah Wilson. Nixon kicks out to Kayla Wells. That's a good sign. She struggled from three in their last outing.
Well, she is a player that is hunting for her own shots. You got to remember, Texas A&M, they're learning to play without the player of Kennedy Carter. That was an impact player, and she really commanded a lot of the attention on the offensive side for Texas A&M. Now it's a more balanced approach.
Into the corner, Charlie Collier. She can definitely hit that shot. Taylor under the basket, gets blocked. And there's a jump ball, possession arrow pointing to Texas. We've already talked about how Vic Schaefer has impacted this program. He's put his stamp on Texas, and we're only 3 games in.
Offensively, he has brought the dribble drive, and then defensively, he is going to try to force as many turnovers and score points off those turnovers. But I love the dribble drive offense, and it fits perfectly with this personnel. What are you trying to do out of that? You're trying to get layups. You're trying to get to the free throw line. And then if the defense takes that away, then you have open shots on the perimeter.
Yeah, what a luxury it is for Coach Schaefer to come to a brand new program and not have to modify a lot of what he wants to do because he already has that personnel here at Texas.
Well, but it's not as smooth or as easy.
Right.
Like, we have seen the benefit, but understand this, Vic Schaefer got the job in April. He still, because we're in the COVID situation, the COVID era, he still hasn't been in his basketball offices to work. How about that? His staff bought their houses virtually.
That's scary.
They hit the ground running, though, even from Starkville, Mississippi. Before they moved, they hit the recruiting trail, the planning, the building relationships with players. Now, they look like they've broken in, you know, like you do with a new pair of shoes. It looks to fit pretty well.
Fits pretty well. Texas starting 3-0. They were picked to finish second in the Big 12 as Charlie Collier is at the free throw line. A great free throw shooter this year, 91% from the field. Texas has finished third in the Big 12 the last 2 seasons.
I wish every player that shoots free throws, watch her. 3 dribbles, she quiets her mind, and then shoots the basketball. It's like a golfer before they tee off. They do the same thing, get your mind in the right place, and it's almost automatic for Charlie Collier from the free throw line.
Wilson might have gotten away with a travel. The deep shot from India Jones.
Wait a minute.
What?
Stop the presses. She has extended to the three-point line. Wow.
A double-double machine, and she can shoot the 3.
Well, Gary Blair told us that she has really embraced being a scorer, not just that cleanup player that she was the first 3 years of her career.
Collier going after Sierra Johnson, misses everything. Wilson comes out with it.
Look at India Jones posting up on the freshman right there.
That's Gaston down low on Jones. All kinds of contact in the paint, and Dia Jones going to the line. They get Gaston for the foul.
You look at how Texas A&M spreads around, 4 out, ball movement, unselfish play, and India Jones knocking down the 3.
Gary Blair told us, sometimes I look at the stat sheet and I don't realize what India Jones has done because she's just so consistent. Ooh, gets it to drop in. Well, on Tuesday, day 1 of the ACC Big Ten Challenge features 4 ranked teams. First up at 7:30, we'll have North Carolina and Iowa, followed at 9:30 by Illinois and Duke. The ACC leads the challenge 12-6-3 overall. You can see it on ESPN and, of course, on the ESPN app. We mentioned Charlie Collier's had 44 points in a game already. Well, Iowa, of course, has Luka Garza, who is just lighting it up. 76 points over his last 2 games.
102 over 3. Courtney, asked me how many three-pointers is in that?
How many threes are in his point total, Carolyn?
5. And ask me what his field goal percentage is.
Oh, and what do you have his field goal percentage on here?
76%. The big man doesn't miss.
Texas A&M will take this, and then Dia Jones will inbound it.
You know, Vic Schaefer told us that he was concerned going against Texas A&M because, remember, when he was at Texas A&M, he was the Secretary of Defense. Well, now Texas A&M has Bob Starkey, who also is a great defensive mind as well. And Vic Schaefer knew that there was going to be a defensive plan to make it difficult for Texas to get anything easy on the offensive side.
Is anybody surprised that Audrey Warren just took a charge?
Not at all.
Gary Blair's not.
Not
He knew
one
it was
bit.
going to happen. A couple of Final Four appearances, of course, won the national championship at Texas A&M back in 2011. Vic Schaefer was his associate head coach during that season.
Well, and they had 2 phenomenal point guards, in Sydney Colson and Sydney Carter. And Sydney Carter is on their staff now as their video coordinator.
Texas has started 0 for 7 from the field. Charlie Collier changes that at the elbow. Collier shooting 65% from the field this season, averaging 30 points a game. Jordan Nixon hits the transfer from Notre Dame.
I really like Jordan Nixon for Texas A&M. She is a vocal point guard. She's very team-oriented. I asked her what was the #1 responsibility Gary Blair gave her, and she said she's to make sure everybody gets in the right spots.
Vic Schaefer's already taken the jacket off. We haven't even hit the first commercial break yet. Wilson pulls up at the free throw line. Here goes Alan Taylor. The other free throw line, it's short.
And that's where 2 players have got to learn to play together. Alan Taylor's coming down in transition. She should use Charlie Collier and use a little brush screen or a drag screen. Come off the screen, and then you have the big girl roll into the basket.
Warren comes out with the rebound, swiped away by Wilson. Wilson up against Charlie Collier, no problem.
When you look at Texas A&M experience, he starts 4 seniors. So they know each other extremely well. Very mature on the floor.
Alan Taylor will try the far side. Celeste Taylor at the top of the key. Collier's calling for it down low. And she's immediately double-teamed. Not a surprise, but hey, that's a good sign. Kick it out to Charisma Ortiz. Travel. Already a tough one here in Austin. Texas A&M on top of Texas, 13-7.
Him or you're on his staff, and he gives you a lot of responsibility. So you are ready to take that next step to go on and become coaches, assistant coaches, or even move on to be head coaches.
And you saw Mike Neighbors on that list. Shout out to Arkansas. He's their head coach. They just beat Baylor.
Yeah, that was an up and down game. Chelsea Dungy and Ramirez, 22 and 23 points.
Kick to the corner. It's Jordan Nixon. She's short. Texas has struggled. What's going on for the Longhorns?
Well, they've not been able to get the ball as easily, and now Texas A&M in a zone. Texas spent a lot of time working on getting the ball inside, but right now settling for perimeter shots. Charlie Collier's got to touch the basketball.
You see number 0 on the floor for Texas A&M as Wilson takes the shot. That's Ella Tofano. She's in the game because Sierra Johnson has 1 foul already.
You know, Texas A&M cannot afford for Sierra Johnson to get into foul trouble this early in the game. And right now, Ella Tofano has done a pretty decent job of really bodying up and staying with Charlie Collier.
She just picked up her first foul, though. Well, on Tuesday at 7 Eastern, the College Game Day crew will have the exclusive reveal of the College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings. See if the predictions are right. Tuesday at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
I got it all figured out for you, Courtney.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Alabama 1, Notre Dame 2, Clemson 3, Ohio State. Then you have the ifs. Now, Texas A&M could get into the hunt if Ohio State were to get beat in the Big Ten championship. How about that?
Ohio State is just hoping they get to the Big Ten championship. They got to play next week in order to make that happen.
Well, they got to hope Michigan will be healthy enough.
Yes,
cleared
exactly.
to play.
Aaliyah Wilson quickly on the other end with the bucket. A&M shooting 45% from the field. Meanwhile, Texas shooting just 17%. They have hit 2 shots.
You know, and watching their offense, see, that's a difficult pass. You had Warren down in the short corner. Make the extra pass. You don't have to make the home run pass inside to Collier.
Jones to Pitts. Destiny Pitts, the transfer from Minnesota. She loves the 3-ball. Look at India Jones, the box out, the rebound, the putback.
I would love to play on the same team with India Jones on the perimeter because I'd have all the confidence in the world to let it fly and shoot it because I know she'd be there to get the rebound.
She's almost as automatic rebounding as it's automatic that you're going to Velvet Taco after this game.
You got that right. That's automatic.
Charlie Collier. That's a couple of times she's missed everything. Collier just 4 points.
The thing that makes India so good at rebounding, she sees the shot go up, and she goes and makes contact with Celeste Taylor instead of waiting for Celeste Taylor to come to her. She initiates that body contact.
Anna Dremina checking in. Texas A&M did have a pretty big hole to fill. They lost Kennedy Carter. She left early to go to the WNBA draft. And she was such an impact player, a 3-time All-American, most career points per game in school history.
Well, and she could come down and score without even having to run an offense. And a lot of times her teammates would be caught standing. They had to get used to playing when she was going to score and when she was going to distribute. Now it's more of a balanced attack. Everybody knows their roles and it's equal opportunity. You'll see Texas A&M move the ball more freely this season.
Texas A&M already has 4 players who have scored in this game. Anna Dremina just took it away, and Audrey Warren has taken her 2nd charge. A little slow to get up on that one.
Audrey Warren is just, she knows how to get her body right in the position and attack and be able to absorb that contact and take that charge. Now, she missed a lot of the season last year with the concussion protocol, so she's got to be careful when she takes those charges and to make sure she protects that head.
Celeste Taylor. Every time you look up, Audrey Warren is on the floor.
But every time you look up, too, India Jones is going after the basketball.
That's right. 7 points, 3 rebounds for India Jones right now. Still have a minute left in the first quarter. Wilson, man, she's got a strong start, 8 points.
You can see now in Texas the inexperience. You know, when the game gets tough and tight, experienced teams can go back to what they know, their fundamentals. This is a team that is inexperienced under the system of Vic Schaefer. Now, this will be an opportunity. Now, when you're in an adverse situation, you find yourself behind, Vic Schaefer will have to remind his team, these are the things that we do, and you're not going to get it all back at once. One improvement at a time, correct one mistake at a time, and you will creep yourself back into this ball game.
And remember, they lost a lot of time in the offseason because of COVID, because of quarantining. There were no exhibition games. That's where you learn a lot of this stuff.
And in scrimmages and having practice guys. Now they have some practice guys here in Austin that they can go against, but still, it's not like playing full game speed.
Charlie Collier just shut down Aaliyah Wilson. Ashley Chevalier, the freshman, comes out with it, number 25 in white. Warren takes the three. Second three for Texas.
We talked so much about Audrey Warren getting rebounds, diving on the floor. Well, she's averaging 16 points a game. So she has been a definite attribute on the offensive side.
Coming off a 19-point performance against La Tech. Step back from Wilson. Great box out from Warren, but no time to get a shot off on the other side. And his wife sharing their story with us. Remember, during these challenging times, ESPN and the V Foundation's fight against cancer has not stopped. If you are able, please support cancer research. You can visit v.org/donate. 100% of what you give goes to cancer research. That's what makes the V Foundation great. Second quarter here in Austin, Texas. Texas A&M held the Longhorns to 11 points in the opening 10 minutes, their lowest point total in a quarter this season, and Charlie Collier goes up and draws the foul.
Well, the aggression of Ashley Chevalier, this feisty point guard attacking the basket, but then you have Charlie Collier that has really improved in her second effort of going after offensive rebounds. And it's all, I attribute that to the work that she has put in with Coach Johnny Harris, the assistant on the staff at Texas. She is phenomenal. She's the post whisperer. Every post player she's worked with, you see great improvement.
The foul was on Aaliyah Wilson of Texas A&M, her first. First 3 games this season for Texas, they had 20 or more points in 10 of their 12 quarters coming into this game, and we just saw 11 from them in that first quarter, a season low.
Well, you've got to compliment the defense of Texas A&M. Right now, they have not allowed Texas to get in an offensive rhythm.
And Aaliyah Wilson has been fantastic. She's in double figures with 10 points.
Well, Aaliyah Wilson was expected to be a scorer when she first got to Texas A&M, but she had endured a few injuries that have held her back. She's now becoming the player that Gary Blair expected her to be. She can shoot the ball. She's got a nice mid-range as well.
There's Chevalier. Gives it up to Destiny Pitts. Oh, excuse me, that's Charisma Ortiz for 3 for Texas.
Yeah, players for Texas are going to have to hit perimeter shots right now. But also, they've got to time and wait on Charlie Collier to make her cuts through the paint, make the defense 2-guard 1, and you're going to get easy openings.
Jordan Nixon driving to the basket for A&M. And Ortiz picks up the foul.
Well, you see Sierra Johnson. That's a brick wall right there that Ashley Chevalier ran into.
Sierra Johnson, one of the leaders on this team, a senior, started her career at Louisville. And she's not just leading on the court, off the court. She is a very vocal individual.
I talked to Kelly Bond, the assistant at Texas A&M, and she talked about the leadership style of Sierra Johnson and said, you know, if you saw The Last Dance, she's more of the Michael Jordan type. She's no bones about it. She wants to win. She's been that way since she got there. Then you have Aaliyah Wilson, who's more like the Pippen, who will put her arm around you a little bit, and you want her in your foxhole.
Gaston to Chevalier. There's Collier, and yes, she's immediately double teamed. She hasn't faced size like Texas A&M has this year. Great move from Collier.
Finish with the left hand.
Fancy.
I love it. I love it. That's fundamental. When you have a post player that can go left or right, nice finish with the left.
It's Mackenzie Green for Texas A&M with the ball right now. She'll also run the point position. Wilson trying to break down Ortiz. Drops it to Johnson. Gaston threw it away.
That's a freshman mistake. That's freshman frustration. D. Gaston saved the ball underneath their basket, back in bounds, but it went to the opponents. And so then, after she put that much effort in saving the basketball but threw it away, she just crushed it. That's a foul, and she's got to understand, with a team like Texas A&M, she cannot afford to get into foul trouble. She's got to be able to keep her emotions in check.
It's 2 fouls on Deonna Gaston. Puts Michaela Johnson, a freshman out of Chicago, at the line for the Aggies.
You know, we talk so much about India Jones. Well, India Jones complimented Anrielle Howard when India Jones came in. Howard took her under her wing. Well, now India Jones is doing the same thing for Johnson, and she's taken her under her wing and really just showing her the ropes and how hard work and pursuing the basketball and getting rebounds, that'll get you minutes on the court.
I don't think there's anybody that sets a better example than India Jones.
Absolutely.
Was a first-team All-SEC selection last season for Texas A&M. This is Kyler Lambert at the top of the key, back to Chevalier. Gaston flies down low, count it! That's a freshman.
Well, and you watch her athleticism, the timing of recognizing, and she just goes up, snatches it out of the air, and then the presence of mind, the pivot, and finish off the glass.
Deonna Gaston originally signed with Mississippi State. Remember when Vic Schaefer was there with his entire staff, and now here she is with him at Texas. He told us, ideally throughout her career, he wants her to be like Audrey Warren, where she can play the 3 and the 4.
And imagine having that versatility with that athleticism. And she's got quick hops off the floor. She has that bounce. Basketball, just natural talent.
Just a 5-point game now. Texas on a 14-5 run. Johnson gets it back. Goes up strong and puts it home.
And what did Gary Blair tell us? He told his team, listen, Texas wants to block shots. And he has told his team to give that shot fake. And they're leaving the floor every time. And that's creating opportunities for putbacks.
There's a little advantage facing your old assistant coach. You know what he's going to do as Jordan Nixon goes 94 feet.
When you've coached together for 15 years, yeah, you can finish each other's sentences.
This is Kyra Lambert. She's gotten a little more playing time for Texas as she heals up.
And Texas just not in the sync offensively. And you even saw at the beginning of the offense, a freshman come to the top, pass and pass back. It was like, okay, this is how the play starts instead of just flowing into it.
Wells in the corner. Rattles out. Chevalier comes down with it. Lambert in the corner. Goes around Wells. Oh, short on the layup. Texas shooting 28% from the field.
Yeah, nothing's coming easy for the Longhorns, and this is really the first time this season they have struggled from the field.
They're averaging 93 points per game this year. Johnson on the block.
Sierra Johnson has gotten herself in phenomenal shape for her senior season, and that has really helped her mobility and her patience, catch, check, and then quickly go make a move.
Collier, step through. Second chance. Got it.
See, last year, Charlie Collier might have missed the first one and she was done. She would just either be out of bounds or headed the other direction. Now she stays in the play.
She doesn't have a choice. Johnny Harris isn't going to let her stop. You got to keep playing. Charlie Collier's got 11 points.
Hey, Rebecca, I bet you're loving being back reunited with Coach Landers in the studio, huh?
That's a fun group. Rebecca got to see an awesome Louisville team.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow,
yeah,
how good were they against DePaul?
Yes. Haley Van Lith.
Real deal.
And a freshman.
Real deal.
Love it.
Collier in trouble, dumps it back out to Chevalier. And a charge this time taken by India Jones. Speaking of which, Sierra Johnson and India Jones, look how much production they combined to make for this Texas A&M program.
That's two players of the 83 points a game that they score 61% of those. And rebounding, they rebound as a team about 46 rebounds a game. Two players get 56% of those.
It's impressive. You know what else is impressive? That pie chart. Shout out to Jacob Garza, our graphics producer, for putting that together for
It told
us.
the story. I love it.
Love a good pie chart. Celeste Taylor misses. Hey, but did you see Deanna Gaston over there? I mean, I feel like she's everywhere right now for Texas.
Well, she has no choice, you know, because Charlie Collier told us that in practice, Vic Schaefer demands excellence, demands that you work hard. So as a freshman, he's conveyed that to that freshman in D. Gaston. You don't stop. Keep playing hard, regardless of what the score is.
Texas started this game struggling, scored a season-low 11 points in the first quarter. Johnson trying to let it. It will stay with A&M.
Outlet it. I like it.
You know, just making up words over here. What was it you made up earlier?
Trickeration.
Trickeration.
I think it's a word.
Sounds like one.
It's a good one.
India Jones.
But do you see that? Gary Blair, isolation for India Jones. Normally, India Jones plays cleanup, and she's not the first option. She's the first option a lot of times for Texas A&M right now.
So why is that? What's changed?
Well, she's worked on her shot. She's proven and gained the trust of the coaching staff in practice that she can make shots, and she has now developed the confidence to be a shot taker. And so Gary Blair is running offenses through her.
Leah Wilson just picked up her second foul. Texas still the shooting percentage not great, shooting 28% from the field.
And Texas A&M going to a man-to-man, switching up from man-to-man to zone. So Texas, they haven't been able to get in a rhythm.
Warren gives it second live. Chevalier, the floater, beautiful.
Chevalier was a surprise for Gary Blair. He did not expect her to have the impact she's had. Ooh, get that out of here.
Gaston with the rejection.
That's that athleticism, Courtney, you were talking about. Watch the freshman come from the right side, timing, catches it in the air, and gets that stuff out of here.
Jones with the hustle, falls in the lap of Charlie Collier. This is Alexis Morris. She was just deemed eligible a couple of days ago for Texas A&M. Started at Baylor, then went to Rutgers. First time playing for A&M. Number 45 in maroon. Yeah, that's going to be an offensive foul on Jordan Nixon. She took down 2 Longhorns.
But she only get called for 1 foul.
Right.
Okay.
It's a 2 for 1.
But one of the things that I'm seeing from Texas is I don't see the confidence in Charlie Collier that I saw in the first 3 games. Right now there's a question mark. She has not been able to really figure out where the timing is, where her openings are going to be.
And remember, this is the first time she's faced big size like A&M.
And A&M bring in the double, sometimes triple team quickly as soon as she catches the basketball, and she's got to make either quick decision, go and score, or know where that outlet pass is going to be.
Collier does have 11 points and 7 rebounds. Deanna Gasson just picked up her 3rd foul. So she will take a seat for the last minute 20 here in the second quarter.
So now when Gaston has to go to the bench, Audrey Warren, who has really played all over the floor, but mainly a 3 guard, now has to move to the 4. So it could play to the advantage of Texas because you can spread the floor, and she has been a willing scorer. And to have the spacing and spread out and people make shots from the perimeter, that'll create more opportunities for Charlie Collier inside.
A different look here for Texas. Audrey Warren with 4 points right now. You can see her point production is way up compared to the first 2 seasons with the Longhorns.
Yeah, almost 16 points a game, and a lot of those points have come from hustle putbacks and offensive rebounds, but she's also got a nice face-up game too as well. A little bit in the mid-range area.
Nixon, yes.
I like Jordan Nixon when she was even on the sideline as they were going through offenses, and India Jones is going after loose basketball or whatever. Nixon's on the sideline going, yeah, Dia, that's it, like encouraging, always chatting it up. She complimented her AAU coach from IXL, Walter Welch, of encouraging her strongly to be more vocal.
And Gary Blair loves it. Rebound into the hands of Nixon. She'll get it up quickly to Alexis Morris under a minute to go in the half.
Seems like we've been on this score for a very long time. It was 32-25, only 2 points scored in the last few minutes.
A&M has missed their last 5 shots. Oh, look at the pass. Jones just a little short on that shot, but a quick recognition from Alexis Morris. Shot clock still on, of course, about a 2-second difference. Texas, just 1 of its last 7 shots have gone through.
Well, A&M in a 1-2-2 defense. Now they've matched up into a man.
Chevalier off the screen for 3. drains it. Maybe that'll be a little spark for a Texas team who struggled to shoot the basketball in the first half. Texas A&M has looked pretty strong on the road here in Austin. They lead it at the half. Let's get you back to the studio with Kelsey.
Mindset that she needed to establish herself offensively, and she shot the ball with great confidence. And confidence is infectious, and it has spread throughout the rest of Texas A&M's team.
Wilson has 10 points as we get set here in the third quarter. First time these two teams are playing since 2014. The rivalry has been renewed. They'll do it again next year for sure. These two head coaches coached 15 seasons together. They've coached together, coached against each other, excuse me, so many times. It's no secret what one another's going to do.
Vic Schaefer has started this second half with Ashley Chevalier.
The freshman point guard did some really nice things in that second quarter for the Longhorns. Jordan Nixon sends it up to Kayla Wells, who was a little bit quiet in the first half, just 1 3-pointer. Jones back to Wells. Shut down by Gaston.
Again, the length.
Ooh. Oh, but in trouble, Deanna Gaston just picked up her 4th foul. This game part of the SEC Big 12 Challenge. 10 different games across the country being played in this challenge. On the women's side, it was the Big 12 who won the challenge last year with 6 wins, but check out the SEC this year.
Well, you talked about Arkansas just knocked off Baylor. Then you had Georgia beat Oklahoma. So there have been some good wins. That's been a good sign for the SEC.
The Big 12, the one win of West Virginia was able to beat Tennessee in overtime today.
That was a tough nail biter all the way down the stretch.
Wells drops them both in.
And for Texas, Celeste Taylor.
I think we're seeing that balance from A&M that they've had to have because of Kennedy Carter's absence.
I think so. I mean, you've got the post play. We talked about Sierra Johnson and India Jones. Now you see the confidence coming from Aaliyah Wilson. Now you need consistency from Kayla Wells.
Chevalier swings it over to Alan Taylor. Here's Alan Taylor for 3. Rims around. Audrey Warren in there fighting for it. Wilson comes out with it. Aaliyah Wilson in trouble. Look how many different players have had offensive production tonight for the Aggies.
And we thought it was going to come from the post play, but it has been the 2 guards with Wilson and Nixon that came very offensive minded. And when guards establish first, then that's going to open up things for the post players inside.
Celeste Taylor just did pick up her 1st foul for Texas. Johnson working on Collier, poked away by Chevalier. I like this freshman.
I love how she plays. She plays hard, quick. She's tenacious, no fear whatsoever. She reminds me a little bit of a Morgan Williams or a Maya Taylor that Vic Schaefer had at Mississippi State.
Just his type of point guard, a coach's kid as well. Her mom, Michelle, is the head coach at Pierce College in California. Audrey Warren playing tough inside and draws the foul.
More of a rhythm, flow of the offense for Texas. They're used to executing. They've worked so hard in putting in the dribble drive. This looks like what Texas is used to, have been able to work through.
You can catch Monday Night Football between the Bills and the 49ers from Glendale, Arizona at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The AFC leading Bills are looking to win the AFC East For the first time since 1995, Monday Night Football, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. I do have some bad news for Bills fans, though.
What's that?
They've lost their last 7 appearances on Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's not good.
Just pretend I didn't say that.
Yeah, didn't have to bring that up.
It's okay. My Titans lost to the Browns today.
I was going to
I don't want to talk about it.
try to help you avoid that, but you brought it up.
Chevalier has now got 3 fouls. And a chance to get the basketball.
Yeah, see, they're taking too long to look to get the ball to Collier. They get right into trying to run an offense as opposed to get your head to the rim and see where she is. Because if the defense is not set, they don't know where the rotations are going to come from.
Just a couple minutes into the third quarter, but Collier hasn't attempted a shot yet. That's a 30-point-per-game scorer.
Chevalier again, active.
And it's going to be a blocking foul called on Jordan Nixon.
And Nixon, she still has her feet in that restricted area. That's why that's a block and not a charge.
Important to note, too, Carolyn, for Texas, Celeste Taylor has not scored, and she averages 17 points per game until right there.
Call it up.
It's the reverse announcer jinx.
There you go. I think Celeste Taylor has been focused so much on her defense that she has forgotten to bring her offense to this basketball game.
1 for 6 now. That's off of India Jones. It's going to be Texas ball.
We talked about the Schaefer Stamp defense. Going to defend 94 feet. That's one of the things that the players talked about when we were at practice yesterday, is that they are going to defend and do so 94 feet. You're not going to just sit back and wait for the offense to come to you.
And you don't have a choice. Something they've had to learn before heading into this season with a new head coach. Warren knocks down the long 2.
Cut this to a 4-point game. And Vic Schaefer, instead of worrying about the offense not flowing, he has turned up the defensive pressure.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Nixon inside to India Jones, working on Warren. Wow, look at the physicality from India Jones.
Again, Gary Blair running isolations to India Jones. He knows that India Jones has the size advantage over Audrey Warren, and she has the offensive mindset now. She's the go-to player to focus and finish.
Double-figure points now for India Jones. Just 4 rebounds away from that double-double.
Well, she averaged a double-double last season. I'm sure there's plenty of time. She's going to get there.
Second in career double-doubles at A&M.
And Texas A&M going back to a zone now, and Texas still running the dribble drive against it. Vic Schaefer, the frustration. He's going to have some growing pains as these players get used to thinking the way he does and wanting to playing the way he's expecting them to play.
Wilson coughs it up. No, it's going to go out of bounds off of A&M. They say it'll stay, oh, excuse me, off of Texas. It'll stay with A&M. Johnson back to Wilson. Finds the baseline, draws that foul.
Just the experience of the two-man game. Getting the ball to Sierra Wilson, and then Asia Wilson, she doesn't stand. She cuts, gets the ball back, and ready to move, and uses Johnson as a screen, and then she squares her shoulders, so she keeps Charlie Collier behind her. So as she goes up to finish, an opportunity to score, but she also draws the foul.
That's the second on Collier.
Wilson seems to really have blossomed. She's not wearing the knee brace anymore. She really looks very comfortable on the court.
Now, your first season back from the ACL, which was last year for her, is not your best season usually.
Yeah, it's tough. But now to come back on the court without the brace, she just seems to have so much more confidence this year.
We saw in that first quarter, this Texas A&M defense held Texas to a season low 11 points in a quarter to open the game. They've been playing catch up ever since. Jump ball, possession arrow to the Aggies. Texas A&M already has a win over a ranked team. They beat DePaul.
And that was, Gary Blair said he wanted that game to be in the 80s. Well, it was 91 to 93.
Yeah. But they won.
They did win. When in talking to Vic Schaefer about Texas A&M, he said he thought this might be one of the most talented teams Gary Blair has had at all 5 positions, not really depending on one player or one position. He's got talent at all 5 positions on the floor.
And they're experienced.
Right.
Taylor in the corner. Wilson. Run it. Nixon. Guess who's on cleanup duty?
That's a great decision in transition, though. Wilson came down, great body control, makes the kick out to the perimeter. Even though she missed the shot, you had India Jones there inside to play cleanup.
Audrey Warren with just a big lane to the basket.
You hear Vic Schaefer. I feel like Charlie Collier is playing timid. I think she's in her head, thinking too much right now, instead of just playing freely like she did the first 3 games.
Johnson misses. We were talking at halftime about how we saw her getting up down the floor so well in those first 3 games.
And you do that when you're playing with confidence. But one of the things that Vic Schaefer said in practice, he said, if you play hard, that'll make up for your mistakes. So you don't have to worry about that. Right now, she's worried about mistakes.
Celeste Taylor finding her offense here. Did not have any points in the first half. Now she has 5. Nixon got a little out of control, and Audrey Warren made her pay the 3rd time. She's taking a charge tonight.
Change to open up opportunities for other black females to have the opportunity to be head coaches of Power 5 or top programs. And now these student athletes are doing the same thing in using their voice and their platform to affect change.
Yeah, exactly. For Texas, they're wearing a patch on their jersey this year that says Uplift Black Lives. And we had the chance to talk to Celeste Taylor and Charlie Collier about that patch.
Well, and they said it's very important to them. They understand the opportunity they have, the privilege they have to, oh, Audrey Warren is down on the floor.
And Vic Schaefer extremely upset. Audrey Warren down right now for Texas. Cameron Inouye is at the monitor right now taking a look at this. There was no whistle, and I didn't see what happened either. But Vic Schaefer was very upset.
Well, he's always going to be protective of his players.
They can go to the monitor and see if there was anything extra, anything that was unnecessary. There's Warren, number 31, on the right side of your screen.
It was the push by Kayla Wells. You see Kayla Wells extend the arm and the push. That's what has to be what Vic Schaefer was so upset about, and that foul wasn't called.
They can go to the monitor and add on a foul that is an unsportsmanlike, an unsporting foul. That's what Cameron Inouye is taking a look at right now, one of our officials. Audrey Warren is a player who has dealt with some concussion issues in the past, has missed time.
The flagrant one is excessive or unnecessary.
So we have not gotten the official word. Our announce position for this game is up on the concourse, so usually the official can come over and tell us what they've decided, but we will get that information for you. So Cameron Inouye is going over to talk to Vic Schaefer right now. I mean, from our replay, you could see Kayla Wells extend her hands when Warren was on her. So they're not going to add anything here. They don't believe they saw anything intentional there. What do you think, Carolyn?
Well, I thought at least there was a foul. I don't think it was flagrant or excessive, but in a basketball play and you're someone is impeding your path, I can see that. But when you extend the arm, that should have been a foul.
Medical staff at Texas still taking a look at Audrey Warren. And we've already seen the toughness that she brings and her offensive production that she brings for Texas.
Well, she's already taken 3 charges today.
Yeah. And it looks like they're going to take her back to the locker room. We'll try to get an update for you. There's 3:26 left to go here in the third quarter. Texas A&M on top of Texas, 45-39. So now Shea Hawley, number 10 in white, in the game for the Longhorns.
And Texas having to go with 4 guards because remember, Deanna Gaston in some foul trouble.
Kayla Wells down right now for A&M. Texas A&M has led this entire game. They came out locked in, really aggressive. Kayla Wells just 3 points in the first half. She's now up to 5, and she'll step up to the free throw line.
And I think the biggest difference in how Texas A&M started to the way that Texas started is the experience. Gary Blair has been at Texas A&M with these players that he's had especially, so they know him in and out and how he prepares to start the game. He even scripted the jump ball.
Yeah.
So they had their plan put together, and they're used to playing at this level against this tough of competition under the leadership of Gary Blair, where Texas, this is their first year. Now, they have played tough competition, and Vic Schaefer has coached against tough competition, but they haven't been in the same unit together.
Yeah, definitely the first tough test for Texas. We're taking a look at the clock here. They say Texas stepped out of bounds, so it is going to be A&M ball. It's one of those cases where we're seeing that experience for Texas A&M pay off, that they have all those multiple weapons who have played together, who have played in a ton of games and started a ton of games.
Well, and even though they're in new roles as far as playing without a Kennedy Carter, remember Kennedy Carter missed several games last season because she was out with the ankle, and so they are used to playing together. This is just carryover from last year to this year. That experience is paying off.
Texas has won the last 4 meetings with Texas A&M, but remember, they haven't played since 2014.
I'm so happy that basketball, college basketball is back.
Absolutely, especially this rivalry is back too as Alan Taylor goes to the hoop.
Cut it to 4.
Pitts threw it away. Lambert thought about it, went inside to Charlie Collier. First time we've seen her take a shot here in the second half. Well, Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans with exclusive content. The next women's basketball game is Texas against Kansas State. You can see it Monday, December 21st at 8 Eastern. They have over 50 women's basketball games for you. You can sign up at espnplus.com/Big 12 Now.
This is going to be what's interesting to watch is Texas now has 4 guards. When they were playing with a traditional center and a forward, they knew where the rotations were going to come from with the double team. When you have 4 guards who can play all 4 positions out on the perimeter, not real sure where that double team can come from, which may open up things for Charlie Collier inside.
Yeah, again, Texas has had to make the change because Audrey Warren has left the playing court back in the locker room with an injury after taking a hard hit.
And then what Texas A&M needs to do, they don't need to play ultra fast right now. They have led the majority of the game, being very patient.
Alexis Morris called for the foul. Texas just down by 2, looking for its first lead. Has made it really tough on her down low. She averages 30 points a game.
When you're confident, you just play. When you're not confident, you think, you're hesitant. And she's hesitant right now. And what Vic Schaefer has got to do is start running things to her and talking to her about, one of the things I have loved about Charlie Collier this year is she's done her work early as far as positioning before she gets the basketball. Right now, she's waiting to get the basketball and then position. By then, it's too late.
Collier drops in the second. Good sign. Audrey Warren is back in the bench area. She is available for Texas. Went down after taking a hard hit. Went to the locker room. Good to see her back. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Vic Schaefer going over to her, checking in on her. Vic Schaefer told us that's my kind of player right there.
Look, he's happy to have that one back. He said, she's my kind of kid. She worked so hard. And he inherited a group that didn't have a lot of experience. Only 2 players had played over 20 minutes a game. And I believe Audrey Warren is one and Charlie Collier was the other one. So he needs that experience on the floor as he continues in this battle with Texas A&M.
A&M has led the entire way. looking for its second win over a ranked opponent this season.
See, I'm watching Charlie Collier. She's away from the ball right now. The timing of the duck in.
Help create a little bit of room for Joanne Allen Taylor.
Joanne Allen Taylor. Strong finish, the emotion. That's what the Texas Longhorns needed right now.
That's the second foul on Alexis Morris. Tied for the first time tonight.
Wow, it's been a battle with this inexperienced team to get themselves right back in it.
Morris, the vision to see the corner pocket. Destiny Pitts.
That's what Pitts, that's what she does, is shoot the basketball. She lines up, spaces out for when penetration happens to knock it down.
She's 5th in the SEC in threes per game. Lambert.
Tim Steele, Collier just not getting the positioning.
Joanne Allen Taylor's finding her position, going to the basket.
Well, with so much attention played to Collier, now find that seam. Where's that driving lane?
Alexis Morris, the Rutgers transfer, cleared just a couple of days ago. First action for the Aggies.
We'll see right now, Collier just not hungry for the basketball.
18 seconds on the shot clock. 15 left in the quarter. Oh, and it was a tough pass to Celeste Taylor. It's going to be A&M ball, 9.1 seconds to go here in the third.
I think when you're struggling offensively, you go get the quick early, even though the shot clock, because it's the end of the third. If Collier had come down and sealed Johnson, go score. You could possibly pull another foul on Sierra Johnson.
Pitts took a long time to get the ball in. It'll still be A&M's.
Yeah, I just see a lot of frustration on Collier's face right there.
Oh, she was just called for the foul. Her third.
Third foul, and in this third quarter, Charlie Collier only 1 rebound.
After the first 3 games of the season, a lot of people talking about Charlie Collier being the #1 pick in the WNBA draft. If she chooses to leave early, she would be eligible because she turns 22 next year, but this is the first big test for her tonight.
Well, a game like tonight makes you think, I'm not quite ready. And I'm not anointed the all-be-all #1 draft pick. I still have things to learn.
Still early in this season, of course.
This is true. The future is bright for the Longhorns.
Johnson sinks at 8 seconds. Chevalier over to Celeste Taylor. Hey, this last 10 minutes, I feel like it's going to be a pretty fun.
The 4 guards, and Gaston in foul trouble. He had to go the 4 guards and went back to the dribble drive.
Audrey Warren back in the game, number 31 in white for Texas. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Taylor. Shot clock did not reset. Chevalier tried to throw it up there quickly. but it's going to be a shot clock violation on Texas. Texas A&M led by 6 at the half. They have led Texas by as many as 14.
I'm friends with a couple of players that played at the University of Texas, and I have gotten texts from them. They are so impressed. They said, I'm so happy to see defense back for the Longhorns.
Texas A&M has played some really nice defense, too.
They have. Both of these coaches, I mean, you've got Bob Starkey, assistant coach on the other side. That does a tremendous job with the defense of Texas A&M.
Warren, it's a 2.
Yeah, to move Warren around and away from Charlie Collier would be beneficial to the offense of Texas.
Oh, it's going to stay with A&M. Texas let it go, thinking that A&M had touched it last. Kayla Wells back in for the Aggies. Texas getting set to go on offense. They have not had the lead tonight.
Well, and Joanne Allen-Taylor, I'm watching her body language. She's turned it up a notch, especially on the defensive side.
Can't do that when Aaliyah Wilson's in front of you. Warren with the extra hustle to get the rebound. Texas still looking for its first lead.
You see Ashley Chevalier, she sacrificed her body, her face, her head to get that stop in transition.
It's a tough freshman.
She's
I think she's bleeding, yeah. Kyra Lambert's going to the table.
She did not give up on the play. She got in the middle of it, sacrificed her body. Looks like Wilson might have caught her with an elbow. That kid's got toughness all about her.
Yeah, what do you think about the freshman?
I love it. She plays hard. She is not, she ain't afraid of nothing. There is no passiveness about her. You know, when Vic Schaefer says, go after it, do this, do that, she's like, okay, how fast do you want me to do it? Because she is ready to go.
Yeah, she got the start coming out of the locker room at halftime in that third quarter.
And when you're playing a ranked team, top 25 team, you've got to have players on the floor that have that kind of grit. And Ashley Chevalier has that.
There's a little blood on the court that they're wiping up right now, so that's why the extended pause. Kyra Lambert has checked in place of Ashley Chevalier. It was a slow start for Texas. They only scored 11 points in the first quarter. That was a season low in any quarter this year, but that intensity is coming back.
Well, I think first it's nerves, and then two, when you're going against the defense of Texas A&M, things don't work as easily as they did in your first 3 games.
First time Texas is facing a ranked opponent this season.
Now you have the isolation of Collier. They missed her because they spread the floor. Defense chased the perimeter players.
Jones calling for it. India Jones, 14 points, 8 rebounds.
Well, Chelsea Taylor got the assignment of India Jones, and Jones is going to win that battle all day long, down low on the block.
India Jones looking for her 5th straight double-double dating back to last season, just a couple of rebounds shy. Warren has come back in the game, picked up where she left off. Fearless.
And what is Texas doing? But they're pulling Warren away. Instead of playing her around the free throw line area, extending her out to the three-point line.
It's nice to have that versatility. Aaliyah Wilson.
Again, find Warren. Where is she? Because India Jones has been bringing the double team to Charlie Collier.
There's one on the baseline. Okay, that's still a nice look.
That was great, yeah, on the baseline, just not able to finish the shot.
And then you got to get back because India Jones will make you pay.
Well, when Audrey Warren is making the play on one end, somebody else has got to pick her player up back defensively. She can't cover everybody.
Vic Schaefer is going to call timeout. Texas down by a few here in Austin. There's a lot of cardboard cutouts.
You did the whole section by yourself, right, Courtney?
I'm a machine.
You had those zip ties down pat.
Thanks to Natalia for teaching us how to do it yesterday. Only about 1,300 fans allowed in for women's basketball this season. They went back and looked at a play. They made Audrey Warren's shot. They improved it from a 2 to a 3. So that's our updated score here, 57, 40, 54. Wow, crushed that.
You got it. Dayana Gaston back in the game for the Texas Longhorns.
She's got 4 fouls. And that's going to be a foul on Warren. I think we've seen what a tough team Texas A&M is going to be. And remember, this is just the 4th game of the season.
Well, when we talked to the players and talked to Celeste Taylor and Charlie Collier and said, you know, what is it that this coaching staff has brought? And they said consistency. Before they were able to get away with playing and being inconsistent, well, that is not going to be tolerated by Coach Schaefer and his staff. And he demands that they go hard every day. When we were at practice yesterday, he told them, look, I can send you home. We can come back tonight and do it again. He wasn't going to tolerate just getting through it.
I was sitting there thinking, no, I'm already here.
Well, it was 9 o'clock in the morning.
Charlie Collier came into this game averaging over 30 points per game, 14 points tonight, has not hit a field goal in this half.
You got to compliment the defense of Texas A&M. They've made it difficult to get the ball inside to Charlie Collier.
Gaston, tough rebound.
Again, not able to score. Charlie Collier.
A&M has two elite post players in Sierra Johnson and India Jones. It's going to make it hard on anybody down low. And then you've got Aaliyah Wilson, who has just really stepped it up tonight.
If Wilson continues to play like this, they are going to do some damage, Texas A&M, in the SEC conference.
Gary Blair told us Aaliyah Wilson was the best practice player the last month heading into this season. Got off to a bad start in that early game, but man, is she feeling it.
Well, you know, a lot of times players are looking for coaches to give them confidence. You get confidence from doing hard work in practice.
Tack on the assists for Aaliyah Wilson. She's got 16 points, 6 rebounds also. It's a season high in points for her. Timeout, Texas. A&M on top here late in the fourth quarter.
Threes, you can be in the attack mode with a middle ball screen.
Warren kicks to Allen Taylor. The second half has been Joanne Allen Taylor's.
And that, thank goodness for Texas, because she has been the main offensive threat that's been able to be productive. Ooh!
There's your pressure, Carolyn.
I told you, they got to bring the pressure. When your team, when you're struggling to score, you can focus on defense, good things can happen.
Allen Taylor going to the line. Well, on Tuesday, day one of the ACC Big Ten Challenge features 4 ranked teams starting at 7:30 Eastern. It's UNC and Iowa. Then at 9:30, Illinois and Duke will face off. The ACC leads the challenge 12-6-3 overall. Check it out Tuesday live on ESPN and the ESPN app.
North Carolina looking to recover from the stinger of Texas, knocking them off in the Maui Classic that was played in Asheville, North Carolina.
Talk about a change of scenery. Not that Asheville's not beautiful. But Allen Taylor just sunk another free throw. All of her points have come here in the second half.
She's got that killer instinct. You know, there's no quit. And you like to see that when you're put with your back against the wall. Who's going to step up? And Joanne Allen Taylor has done it so far this second half.
12 points for her. The pressure stays on. A&M hoping they can hang on for 3 more minutes to pick up their second ranked win of the season. And India Jones travels. Hey, she's already got her double-double, though. That's 5 straight dating back to last season.
But we have covered India Jones. I love watching Gary Blair now calling plays like the go-to right now is India Jones.
Wilson, she's got Nixon on the other side. Turnover. Here's Kyra Lambert.
I want to see Collier go down and plant. She's just going to a spot. She's got to have that hunger for the basketball she had in her first 3 games.
Celeste Taylor fighting for her own rebound. It's going to be a foul on the floor. And it's on India Jones. Her second. Texas is 1 for its last 8.
And in that game, when Charlie Collier had 44 points, she was wanting the basketball. She was directing where the pass should go next or the drive to go next so that it was in position to come to her. Right now, she's not.
Celeste Taylor, is that a confidence thing?
Well, I think that it has a lot to do with how Texas A&M has played her, because when a team plays you the same way, you can predict where it's going to come from, where those openings are. Texas A&M has switched from a man to a zone, sometimes bringing a double, sometimes not. So it's kept Collier off balance.
Yeah, props to this A&M defense. We talked to Bob Starkey earlier in shoot-around today, and he had some question marks about this defense still. It's still really early in the season, but it looked pretty good.
Well, he said last year that the team was a lot better defensively, and I'm thinking...
It's kind of like what we saw NC State do to South Carolina. They took them out. They took the Gamecocks out of what they wanted to do. They packed it in defensively and set the tone.
But I'll tell you, the Gamecocks learned from that, because when they played Iowa State, there was no hesitation. They knew, look, we got to come in ready, hit shots if you want to pack it in. And they made the Cyclones pay.
Yeah, got the win today. I don't think Dawn Staley gave South Carolina a choice. They had to win today.
Yeah, it's like they bounced back last year after they lost to Indiana down in the Virgin Islands.
Just a 2-point game here. Texas has led by 1. Gaston. It'll be an inbound underneath. Foul called on the floor. It's on Aaliyah Wilson.
So there was a collision with Charlie Collier. Will that be something that makes her turn up and get a little more aggressive?
Schaefer screaming to give it to Charlie Collier. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Lambert misses from the elbow. Wilson with the rebound. Oh, and they're going to get Joanne Allen-Taylor on the foul. So Gary Blair is going to take a timeout and advance the ball. 47.2 seconds remaining. A&M up by 2. Both teams with 2 timeouts.
Well, the thing that, first of all, Gary Blair's got to focus on, he's got to get the ball in bounds. All right, so, and with the defense.
Inbound. Celeste Taylor making it really hard to get the ball in bounds.
Keep an eye on Deanna Gaston. She stays down low till the last minute, till it's about 3, 4, and then she goes out to take away the pass.
Confusion on the substitution there. Alexis Morrison. They give it to her. Again, Texas does not have to foul.
Morris is so quick.
There's Jones. 10 seconds on the shot clock. And it's a blocking foul on Celeste Taylor.
All the way down to 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Oh.
Texas did just about everything they were supposed to do, but Celeste Taylor is in that restricted area on the rotation.
Vic Schaefer, Aggies. Wilson. And she's fouled by Allen-Taylor. Next foul by Texas, and A&M will head to the line. Gaston replaced by Warren for Texas.
You can see Warren still gives up a few more inches going up against India Jones.
Aggies sub out Wells for Morris.
You got a foul, too much time. There you go.
Clock stops with 17.2 remaining.
The quickness that Alexis Morris brings to Texas A&M. She can change directions in a blink of an eye.
Started her career at Baylor, then went to Rutgers, and now here she is at A&M. Her first game as she was just declared eligible a couple of days ago. These are some big free throws just to put a little insurance on it. Aggies have a lot of weapons this year.
How about your first game back being cleared eligible is against Texas when you're playing for Texas A&M for Alexis Morris?
She just hit those 2 free throws like she's not thinking about it too hard.
She's been here before.
Texas will. Texas has got to hurry. Offensive foul on Celeste Taylor.
See, that's tough with that substitution. If you had Audrey Warren in the game, you have experience. When you've got to put Deanna Gaston in the game, that's a freshman, and it seemed like she was unsure of what the offense was, and then Celeste Taylor drives and then gets called for the charge.
So Gary Blair will take his final timeout. He will advance the ball with 9.7 seconds left, and he's got a 4-point lead.
And the biggest thing he's got to do is get hi to Joni Taylor and Nikki Fargas, Dawn Staley, Robin Pinchton.
Nixon gets it in to Wilson. 7 seconds on the clock.
Well, and Texas doesn't have any more timeouts, so make or miss. You either take it out and bring it or rebound and go as fast as you can to the other end.
Best thing you've seen from A&M tonight?
Aaliyah Wilson.
Yeah, she's been good.
You know, we had talked so much, and with our pie charts of Sierra Johnson and India Jones, but when you can bring the addition of Aaliyah Wilson on a quiet night for Kayla Wells, that's a good sign for Texas A&M.
They won't get the shot off. Texas A&M has its second win over a ranked opponent, and we're 4 games into the